this is Nick, and I'm here with the mighty Phil Doleman.
Hello, nice
Good
to see you, Nick.
Phil,
Nice to see
down
you.
in Belper.
Yeah.
And I thought, seeing as I have the opportunity to talk to Phil, I talked to him about very many things that he's involved in, starting off with the new book, which has been out for how long?
It was released at the end of August.
Okay.
How music works on the ukulele. Yeah.
So what inspired you to write How Music Works on the Ukulele?
Well, at workshops, lots of people are asking me, can you recommend a music theory book? Because I want to learn a bit more about this theory, but I don't want to have to learn to play the piano or read music. And I couldn't recommend anything. There just was nothing that talked about theory and how all this stuff worked together, but was mainly aimed at chords, which is what ukulele players are playing most of the time, and didn't involve having to learn all of the sort of O-level music stuff.
Right.
So that's where it came from, really. More of an accessible version of music theory.
And what sort of interest have you had since you've launched it?
It's gone crazy. I think I've sold almost 700 copies.
Wow.
With no advertising. And the only other place it's been available is through World of Uke Shop. The rest of it is sold direct from me. So no budget, no nothing. Just Facebook posts and that's it. Yeah.
Well, clearly people are enthused. You know.
Yeah.
And I know that with the uke, we've talked a lot about this. A lot of the time, people have this idea that it's an easy instrument to play.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the funny thing about playing an instrument is there's two aspects to it. There's the physical thing of playing an instrument, and then there's music. And music is the same whether you're playing a tenor guitar or a banjo or a ukulele or whatever. Music is the same. And the rest of it is taking what's in your brain or what you hear and turning it into music via whatever medium you choose, whatever instrument you choose. And yeah, it's pretty easy to pick up a uke and show someone a couple of chords. And unlike the violin, if I strum a C chord, or anyone I've just shown strums a C chord, they'll sound like anybody else strumming a C chord. Whereas a violin, you go through that, screechy phase of producing a tone. But beyond that, it's just as hard to play music on any instrument because it's much more about music than it is about the instrument. And that's, you saw me then playing, people know me as a ukulele player, but they've just seen me playing, and you as a ukulele player, and you're playing a tenor guitar, and I'm playing a tenor banjo.
He's moved over to the dark side.
But people say, no, these are not tuned like ukuleles. These are completely different instruments. But if you understand how notes work together to make chords and how chords work together to make a song, it's actually quite easy to get to grips with another instrument and fit those same notes together in the same way. If you've got an understanding of how music works, which hence the title.
So for people watching this and they've got their ukulele, they're happily playing their certain number of chords, they may be part of a ukulele club, but they want to progress and develop. What would your core advice be for people like that?
I think you've got to develop your ear, and I think people concentrate far too much on this aspect and not this aspect. So you've got to develop your ear, and the only way to do that is to listen a lot and really listen, not just have music on, but listen to it and think to yourself as you're listening, what's happening? Can I do that? Do if I'm playing that song already, do I do it like that? Or is there something different from what I'm hearing to what I'm playing? And that's how you develop the ability to jam with other people. Like it was just playing together then. That's not something that we've played together before, other than just quickly going, how does it go?
So about an hour ago.
Yeah, if that, yeah. And so it's that idea of listening and hearing it in your head and then being able to, I think the easiest way to develop your ear is to sing.
Yeah. And
a lot of people who play are a bit frightened of singing because maybe they've been told that they can't sing, or they've just never done it with any. It takes a certain amount of confidence. But if you can hear something and then sing it, then it's in there. It's got as far as there. And this apparatus, we've already had a lifetime to learn how to use to turn something we can hear there to something here. So that's quite easy. The hard bit is turning it from something you can hear there to something coming out of your instrument.
Yeah.
But if you can sing it, you've done the first bit, which is actually quite hard, I think. So sing.
I think there's a lot of truth in that. As somebody who's previously was not a singer, and I had my first ukulele lesson years ago with my dear friend and co-performer, Small Change Diarist, Jessica, who said in the first lesson, let's sing a song. And I went, shock.
Absolutely.
But I have to say, it absolutely does something in the brain to get you to pay more attention, without doubt.
Yeah. And if you think about all of the jazz greats who are playing instruments that they don't have to blow, will hum along and sing along with what they do. If you listen to Thelonious Monk playing the piano, he's singing and humming to himself as he's doing it. If you listen to people like Jim Mullin on guitar and people like that, you'll, even if they're not singing out loud, you'll kind of see their lips moving a little bit. And that's because they're not going, oh, that sounded nice. They're actually going, I want to make this sound. And singing helps them to get that idea out of their brain and out into the world. And you will see people like George Benson who will play mind-blowing guitar solos and sing them at the same time.
Yeah.
And you know then he's completely in control of his instrument, because what's coming out of here is matching what's coming out of here.
Yeah.
But it's all about listening, and that's what music is. It's people forget that quite often. It's just vibrations in the air, and how you create them is completely up to you, what instrument you use.
And I hear you're back with playing with Ian and doing duo gigs all over, from what I can see.
And it's such great fun to do it again, to have, because most people know Ian as a uke player, but for a long time before that he was a guitarist, and quite a busy, quite successful guitarist. And it's so great to have. We've always had that kind of chemistry where we just play and we kind of lock in together, and that is something that's actually quite hard to learn. But if you find someone it works with, it's great. And it's lovely for me because Ian's he's my entire band. So he's my drummer and my bass player and my guitarist all rolled into one, which means I can relax and I can do stuff over the top of that. And that is, Ian's going to back me up all the time on that. And he's also a great harmony singer. So it's lovely to have a little bit of vocal harmony come in and just lift the vocals a little bit. But yeah, we're having great fun with it. And the stuff we play now is so loose that we don't have to play the same thing every time. We can surprise each other. We can throw little things in as and when we feel like it, and change the tempo of a song, change the feel of a song, and just go with it, which is a lovely thing to be able to do.
Well, I didn't know him so much. I knew him sort of as playing with you, because I saw him play Gnuff last year.
Yeah.
But I saw sort of like clips on YouTube. I thought, oh my God, I mean, he can play like any jazz stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
He can sing. So I thought, not that I was underestimating Ian, if you're watching this, I wasn't underestimating you, but I thought, oh my God, I mean, he's solid performer. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he's one of those guys. And it's just like what we were talking about there. An amazing ear. So when it comes to rehearsal time for a new song, we don't ever go through the whole, let's write this down, let's work it out. It's like, what key is it in? Play it. And by the time we've gone round it once, he's there. And by the time we've gone round it 4 or 5 times, he's got some really nice little bass runs or little interesting bits. And as he will tell anybody, then it takes 6 weeks before we can perform it, because I can't remember words. But if there were no words to remember, we could do a song one day and perform it the next.
Yeah.
That's Ian's trick, whether he plays the guitar or the uke. Incredibly good ear, and I think that's something that a lot of players, it never occurs to them to think about how they listen to stuff, which is important.
And I hear you're also doing stuff overseas now as well.
Yes, I was lucky enough to go to the West Coast Ukulele Retreat last year, and I'm going back again this year. It's an amazing experience, and it's nothing like anything I've been to in the UK. It's not a festival. It is truly a retreat for a relatively small number of people, around about 100 people.
Okay.
Who stay there for several days. I think this year there's an extra day for people that want it. So it would be from Tuesday to Sunday, and it's a full timetable. And you get up in the morning and share your meals with all the students. So you have breakfast, then you go and teach, and you have coffee, then you teach, then you have lunch together, then you teach. And then by the time you get to the evening, there'll be some kind of evening event, but you will be, if you're not so much performing, more facilitating other people performing. So you might be in the house band for other people, or you might be working on some way of backing up people to encourage them to get up to sing songs, or you've worked with them during the day. One of the things we all had is all the tutors have a band, and you teach the band that song, an arrangement, and you train them, but then they go and perform it in the evening. It's very, very hard work, but it's really rewarding, and it's like unlike anything I've done in the UK.
Wow.
Plus you get to go to, the west coast of America and go to San Francisco.
It's not too shabby, is it?
It's a nice
not
place
too
to go.
shabby
Yeah,
at all.
it's gorgeous. Yeah.
So if people want to find out about what's happening in the world of Phil Doleman, what's the best way for them to do that?
The website is phildolman.co.uk, one word, and you can find me on Facebook. I've got my own page, but I've also got the Phil Doleman music page on Facebook. And yes, all of those have all the gig lists and the workshops and things like that. And also, if you come along to a festival, next one is going to be Grand Northern Ukulele Festival at the beginning of May. And I'm at a lot of festivals, and you just come and say hello and accost me at a festival somewhere and take it from there.
Well, thank you so much for chatting to us.
Always a pleasure, mate. Always a pleasure.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.